Well, thank you for that information, Mr. Tyson. After careful review of your records as well as, oh hey, seems like you're coming on the back end of this conversation. So let me catch you up. I'm sure you know who this is, the great Mike Tyson. He was just filling me in on some interesting details about his life and his disorder. What disorder? Well, I'll get to that later. Did you know that Mike Tyson, also known as the baddest man on the planet, is considered one of the greatest boxers of all time? But that's not the fascinating part. As a kid, growing up in the tough neighborhood of Brownsville, Brooklyn, and New York City,
Mike Tyson, Van Dyke, grew up in this.
And coming from a fellow Brooklynite, them streets was mean. Mr. Tyson wasn't quite as intimidating as he is now. And he was actually teased and picked on for the same disorder he still suffers from. I'm sure you did, or know someone who still makes fun of the way he speaks. But all that's about to change, because I'm here to help him knock it out. Okay, Mr. Tyson. As I was saying before, after reviewing your records, it seems to me that you have a frontal lisp. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But the good news is it's not impossible to fix. It just takes some practice and consistency.
Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
The best way to break a bad habit is to replace it with a good habit. I've had my share of clients who just couldn't keep their tongue from peeking out when they said soap or zebra. Don't even ask me why they were saying zebra that much. So I would tell them time and time again that they needed to visualize what they were saying. As humans, we tend to believe things more when we can actually see them in our minds. And I know what you might be thinking. Visualize what exactly? Here are 2 techniques I use with all of my clients. First, start by looking in the mirror and saying words you lisp on. Thoop. Zebra. Do this with at least 3 words so you visualize what your tongue is doing when you're lisping. The tongue is usually resting in the mouth behind the teeth. Laying low when we say s and z words. When I say laying low, I mean flat and possibly touching the inner sides of the bottom teeth. You know, mainly those middle front ones. Buck teeth, but on the bottom. Sorry, that's the only way I know how to get you to know what I'm really talking about. Now we know placement. You have to lightly press that tongue against those teeth and practice saying the words you lisp on in that position. Thoop, soap, seal, zebra. It's going to feel weird at first because that tongue has been just wild and free, peekaboo wherever it wants, and now it has a place it needs to go and stay. Just like you visualize your tongue coming through your teeth, you're going to visualize it staying behind your teeth, like when you put a snake in a cage, which is usually how I do it for my littles, but we talking grown folks business, okay? You want to get comfortable with that feeling of the tongue behind the teeth that way. And since we know practicing makes progress, I would recommend practicing this every day. Before I give Mike his second technique, I want to shift gears and talk about another type of speech problem. There are a few famous people who have or have had a lateral lisp, including the amazing Drew Barrymore. Stick around until the end of this video and I will help you identify if you might have a lateral lisp. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel. It really motivates us to put all this work into making great videos for you guys. For the second technique, Mr. Tyson, I call it hold the T. I used to have this little 3-year-old kid who was just fascinated at how when you hold out your T sound, it turns into an S sound. I guess you know who I didn't have to force to practice this at home. His poor mom. Okay, so let's try it. You're gonna take a deep breath. You're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna visualize again. Close your eyes and feel where your tongue is in your mouth while you're making this sound. Tongue tip down, fat part back. That's the way we fix this lisp. It doesn't rhyme, but it works. Once again, it's about the practice, so you want to practice this at least once a day. Just like my little fascinated friend who wouldn't stop practicing even when his mom told him to stop, and even if it meant he walked into walls, he was that determined. Visualizing and recognizing tongue placement will make practice easier for you, and it will help this strategy to translate into real-world day-to-day speaking. Mr. Tyson, if you implement the strategies that I taught you here today, then your lisp will be gone in no time. And hopefully these strategies will help you too. Leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know if it helped. Oh, and before you go, as promised, if a frontal lisp is not what's knocking you out, then let me tell you how to figure out if you have a lateral lisp. I have clients who are always confused by this one because it's a little more complex, and I tell them that a lateral lisp is when the tongue is coming out on the sides and slurs your sh, j, and ch sounds. So your SH, your J, and often your CH sounds. And if you're looking for some strategies to fix your lateral lisp, then be on the lookout for when I upload my next speech celeb therapy session with none other than, wait for it,